In this lecture, I'd like to offer one more resource for us to consider as we contemplate the spiritual capital we will need in the days and years to come. That jewel of a love poem tucked away between the pragmatic Ecclesiastes and the monumental Isaiah that we call the Song of Songs. At various times in human history, the song has been crucially important to human spirituality, especially as it is expressed in Judaism and Christianity, although it has been widely neglected in our own time. In a time of longing for a spirituality that is attentive to everyone's life, as Professor O'Sullivan put it at the beginning of this series, and in all its dimensions, the Song of Songs challenges us with an incarnational view of spirituality that does not avert its eyes from all that makes us human: our bodies, our sexuality, our vulnerabilities, and our desires. The Song of Songs speaks to that part of ourselves, even if it is a very small part and very hidden, that lies awake, longing for the beloved, even when the rest of us seems to have fallen asleep. The part of us that longs to be awakened to the fullness of our humanity and the most profound possibilities it holds. So thank you again for inviting me to be here, and I look forward to our conversation. The Song of Songs is a book like no other in the Bible. For centuries, readers approached it with a quality of hope and expectation that may be difficult for us to understand. Modern readers, even those who are religious readers, often regard the Song of Songs as an oddity, useful only as quarry for wedding liturgies. For earlier readers, however, the Song of Songs is a key hidden at the heart of the Bible, capable of unlocking the Bible's central message about God's love for human beings. It was a fathomless pool of meaning one could swim in one's whole life long and never sound the bottom. It was a garden in which one might encounter God walking in the cool of the day. For these readers, the Song of Songs was a devotional text surpassing all others, a text to be lingered over in Lectio Divina, a text for prayer. Some readers found in the song a meditation on God's love for Israel. For centuries, Jews have recited the Song of Songs on the Sabbath of Passover as a reminder that God delivered Israel from slavery not only because God was covenantally bound to do so, but because God loved Israel, cherished her, desired her good. Many Christian readers found in the song a hymn to Christ's love for the church. Readers, both Jewish and Christian, saw in the words of this poem a path to intimacy with God. They prayed and studied the Song of Songs, longing to hear God's voice, hoping to see God's face. Now, as many commentators have noted, the song is unusual among biblical books for what it includes and for what it leaves out. What it includes is erotic poetry that leaves no body part uncelebrated, no fragrance or taste of the beloved undescribed. What it leaves out is any reference whatsoever to God. Yet despite its lack of explicit religious content, the song has exerted tremendous power over the religious imaginations of Christians and Jews. Rabbi Ezra ben Solomon of Gerona taught that God sang the Song of Songs every day. Rabbi Akiva once wrote that while all Scripture is holy, the Song of Songs is the Holy of Holies. So the question that I want to pose in this lecture is, can the Song of Songs become again for us a text of devotion? And would we need to choose allegorical readings of the song over historical and literary ones in order to seek God in this poem? Can this poem still help shape our life with God and with one another? seek the presence of God in the Song of Songs, in this day, in this time? What would we learn about our humanity? What would we learn about our life with God and our life with each other? In a world in which bodies are regularly commodified and exploited, bought and sold, a world where the needs, desires, pleasures, and pains of many bodies are ignored, something very great is lost when we avert our eyes from the body. Christian practice does not give us much help, although it should. Christians worship a God who pronounced all creation good, who came to us in human flesh, who rose from the dead, wounded yet whole, and yet we remain suspicious of the body, its desires and its pleasures and its needs. We worry that the body is not wholly good. We feel we need to go beyond it, transcend it, leave it behind somehow if we are to deepen our life with God. The Song of Songs, though, ultimately resists any attempt to interpret the body into invisibility. No matter how many meanings we excavate from its images, thighs remain thighs and breasts remain breasts in the song. It is impossible to read the Song of Songs and not confront questions about our embodied life. The most obvious contribution of the Song of Songs to a contemporary spirituality is found in its loving attention to the body, its celebration of sexual pleasure, and its portrait of an intimate relationship in which desire and vulnerability are mutually shared and mutually expressed. With its unapologetic celebration of incarnate life, the life of the body that Christian faith proclaims God shared with us, the Song of Songs is an indispensable resource for Christian spirituality. Teresa of Avila and Bernard of Clairvaux heard in the woman's longing for a kiss the human longing for the incarnation of God in Jesus. But we don't need allegorical interpretation to find in the Song of Songs a profound understanding of incarnation. We don't need to move beyond the very human love portrayed in the song in order to reach a deeply theological meaning. A truly incarnational theology, biblical scholar Diane Bergant writes in her commentary on the song, considers human love as both a value in itself and a sign or symbol of divine love, and claims that we love God precisely in the act of loving others. To pray the Song of Songs is to be reminded of what Bergant considers the heart of incarnational theology, that God is not found beyond human endeavor, but at the very heart of it. Last year, I met a woman who told me a story about the Song of Songs that I will never forget. Her husband had served on a submarine in the U.S. Navy during the 1970s. Family members were able to send messages to the sailors, but the messages could be no more than 8 words long. If you put a Bible verse in, that counted as only 1 word. So the families filled their messages with them. Those of us unsure, she told me, loved the Song of Songs. They would send messages like this, SOS 1:2. And the beloved, deep below the surface of the ocean, would look up Song of Songs, chapter 1, verse 2 in the Bible. Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth. Or SOS 4:7, you are altogether beautiful, my love, there is no flaw in you. Or SOS 5:8, if you find my beloved, tell him this, I am faint with love. Or SOS 8:7, a message to a beloved submerged beneath miles of water. Many waters cannot quench love, neither can floods drown it. And that's an argument for biblical literacy. Those women flung the words of the Song of Songs into the sea like a lifeline, and they entered the submarine like a secret code. I love the thought of those sailors hunched over their Bibles like devoted scholars, reading for a word from their beloveds. And I love that the messages said SOS. In the 3rd century, the biblical commentary Origen of Alexandria fretted over the potential of the song to lead its readers astray with its erotic power. Don't read it, he advised his fellow Christians, unless you have your passions under control. But in the end, fear did not drive Origen's reading of the Song of Songs. Like the women who pored over the song looking for a message to send to their beloveds, love did. In the end, Origen advised readers of the song to join the bride in saying what she says, so that you may also hear what she heard. In other words, make this song your prayer. Make these words your own. Now, Origen could have learned a lot about what it means to pray this song from the women who sent their ardent messages to their beloved sailors in the verses of the Song of Songs. Coiled within those coded SOSs were so many prayers. I miss you. God be with you. Please come home to me. These messages are very much in keeping with the spirit of the song, which itself tries to bridge the distance between the lovers with lush and lovely words. As we try to bridge the distance between each other, between ourselves and God, between ourselves and the world all around, the song offers us words we might make our own, as Origen once put it. And making the words of the song our prayer might help cultivate a posture of attention and devotion to what is other than ourselves. The lovers in the Song of Songs are beautiful, to be sure, and the poet makes us see that beauty in all its shining glory. But they are also more than their beauty, more than the sum of their glorious body parts. And that more is difficult to capture in words. That we cannot ever fully know each other, no matter how intimately we live, is one of the true things about life. Erotic life, family life, community life, life with God. You are ruddy and radiant, fragrant and glorious. Your hair is like a flock of goats running down a mountain slope. You are so beautiful, my beloved. Your eyes are doves. But who are you? Who are you? Oh God, you are good, you are just, you are wise. You created us and you sustain our lives. We know your stories, we've sung your songs. But who are you? Who are you? Perhaps this is one of the things that drew people like Origen of Alexandria, Teresa of Avila, Bernard of Clairvaux to the song. Its acknowledgement that even in the midst of delighting in the beloved, there is something about the beloved that is always just out of our reach. And that what we cannot know is as worthy of reverence, adoration, and wonder as that which we can. And in this way, perhaps the song teaches us to love the way God loves, reaching out with reverence and adoration towards the beauty of each other as embodied creatures, and to the parts of ourselves that are hidden, perhaps even from ourselves, the part of us that is awake and waiting, even when we believe ourselves to be sleeping. The Song of Songs reminds us that the life of our body, our life with each other, and our life with God is one life. One life that is even more than the sum of its parts. One life that opens onto depths that are spiritual, that are erotic, that are compassionate, and that on some level are not wholly knowable. One life touched and blessed by the kiss that has been sung out over centuries in language unutterably beautiful, from the Song of Songs to Bernard of Clairvaux's 82 sermons on the Song of Songs, to the song beyond language, humming inside each of us. Thank you very much.